I didn't quit my job, I didn't have a design background, and I definitely did not expect to make over $227,000 as a side hustle on Etsy. This wasn't some viral product, it didn't happen overnight, but I built a consistent income stream on the side using just a few AI tools, my laptop, and the print on demand model. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I did it, what worked, what failed, and what I do if I had to start all over again today. So let's just dive into it. All right, so I've now shared my Etsy dashboard screen so that we can look at the numbers, so that you can tell they are real. As you can see, it's filtered by January of 2024 to December of 2024. And this was my very, very first year on Etsy. The crazy thing is I had zero previous experience and I was working a 9-to-5 job at the time, a stressful one. And I also have 3 kids. So it's not like I had unlimited amounts of time, but I was still able to scale this while doing all of that to a decent amount of money. Keep in mind, this is revenue, it's not profit. A normal profit margin for Etsy would be somewhere around that 20% mark. However, I'm still very, very, very happy with these results. The business model I use to achieve all of this is something called print on demand. And it is essentially a fulfillment process. So the goods get shipped directly from our suppliers, like Printify that I use, and get shipped directly to the end customer, kind of like drop shipping. The main difference between print on demand and drop shipping is that we ourselves are putting the designs onto the products. So we are selling our own designs on the products. So that is the main difference. So hopping over to Printify, which is one of the main suppliers on the marketplace that have just a crazy amount of products that we can print our designs on. So as you can see here, they have a catalog with just a bunch of different goods. And so we can, for example, let's go to candles, for example, right? They have a ton of different candles. And as you can see, they say right on the label there, they say your design. So basically what we do is we then upload our design file onto this product, and that is then what ships to the customer. So as you can see, tons of candles. They have, just in home and living, they have glassware, mugs, canvases, bottles, postcards, journals, you name it, they got it. And the cool thing is that this fulfillment style is growing and it's expanding, and more cool products are coming into the marketplace. So the time is now to jump in and start selling these types of goods so that we are ahead of the game, basically, right? Now heading over to Etsy, now you can see a little bit of the kind of the design style that is actually being sold today on Etsy. And the cool thing is we can come in here and sell that product with our own designs on it. And it's just a genius way to come into a marketplace, start making money online in a very beginner friendly fashion. So as you can see, some people have like custom photos, funny sayings. This looks to be like some sort of birth flower. We have a definition candle. Bunch of stuff. And you can see here, I have a special tool here that analyzes the monthly sales. You can see 49 sales, 36 sales, 23, 97. These are monthly sales. 17, 18, 0, 37, 49, 262, 39. So what we basically do is we come onto Etsy as the marketplace. We use Printify as our supplier and our fulfillment process, and we basically pump out designs targeting specific niches and sell on the platform. All right, so now I wanted to go in and analyze exactly what it takes to be successful and first look at the key success factors. So first off, what made me successful is that I myself made a general store and not just a niche focused store. So what I mean by general store, if you're not familiar with the term, is it's a store that can sell a multitude of products, and those products target a multitude of niches. So what I mean by niches is, for example, a niche would be weddings, right? So in this strategy, we're not limiting ourselves to just weddings. Maybe we're doing weddings, and we're doing maybe pet lovers or whatever it is, right? Nurses, teachers. And I found this to be a good strategy, especially in the beginning. Now, a niche store does have its merits and it's a good strategy to have, but since we are talking about beginner friendly, a general store is the best way to start. And then eventually, when you have success, then you can start scaling out a niche store as well, right? Because the cool thing about Etsy is that you're not limited to just one store. You can have multiple stores, and have multiple streams of income, basically, right? Yeah, another key success factor was strong mock-ups that fit the vibe of the shop. So mock-ups are the listing images that are actually in the listing. So by using strong mock-ups, like for example, the first thumbnail or the first mock-up in the listing, I tried to make it as realistic as possible. And first off, so it stands out. So I don't use the exact same photos that everybody else is using. I try and use a photo that stands out and that looks ultra realistic so that people think it's basically the real thing, even though it is just a mock-up. Strong SEO. So if you're not familiar with SEO, SEO is search engine optimization. So SEO, there's a bunch of things that go into SEO on Etsy, but some of the main things would be your titles and your tags and your shop sections, your listing success. So if that specific listing sees success, then it also boosts your SEO and makes you more visible. So SEO, I really focused in on that, took my time. And if you guys want to see any specific videos on, for example, SEO, I would be happy to make that. If that's something that's interesting to you, just comment down below and I will take a look at making that as well. Another key point is consistently posting new listings. And the reason for this is that in reality, not every single listing is going to succeed on the platform, even though it seems like it would. Sometimes it's just the listings that you don't expect that start selling. So we want to, first off, post more listings so that we have a better chance of getting seen and selling. Number two is that in the beginning, we're obviously not good at making listings, right? This is a skill, just like any other skill. It needs to be learned. So in order to learn it in the fastest time frame possible, you will need to be consistently posting new listings. Now, what you do not want to do is to just pump out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of listings, because that will actually hurt your shop and will lower your quality score, because if they're all shitty designs, then they won't be selling and that'll hurt your overall shop and your overall ranking. So the next point is I continue to learn and to improve. And that is just a mindset thing that needs to be in the back of your head. You need to always be learning, always improving your SEO, improving your mockups, improving your designs, right? All of that combined is what's going to make you successful. Another thing is I utilized Etsy ads from the beginning. And even though I did not make money off them in the beginning, they really helped my sales velocity and got me sales early and got me reviews early, so that it just kind of snowballed over time. And by the end of it, I was a Etsy ads master and was able to then target key product or key listings that I have, and not every single listing. And yeah, basically utilize that, and that's what actually helps you scale your shop. Another thing is I used personalization. So on Etsy, customers come to the platform to buy gifts often, or like memorable things for themselves, right? Keepsakes or whatever. And basically, we can utilize that and appeal to the emotions of that target customer and offer them maybe a special date on it, like some sort of anniversary. We can offer the custom name. Maybe it's grandma's the grandma's grandkids' names, whatever it is, right? That is the exact type of product that shoppers on Etsy are looking for. And since not everybody offers them, this is a good way to stand out, and it also increases the perceived value of the product. Another key point here is that I picked unique products. I didn't just sell what everybody else was selling. This was my strategy from the beginning, and it definitely paid off. The thing is, you can be successful with your bread and butter t-shirts or sweatshirts that everybody else is selling. However, your chances of being successful are lower, and also the profit margins often are not that high on those types of products. So I went after products that were unique and had a high enough profit margin to actually utilize Etsy ads as one of my main tools to actually scale my shop. Tools I used, and there are not many of them. One of them was Canva. Now, if you haven't heard of Canva, it is my preferred design tool of choice, as you can see here. So basically what it is you can make all your designs. You can also make mock-ups just like this. So you would put your design onto that, just like that. And then, yeah, I don't really have many here, but here you can make your logo for your shop. You can make, here are some designs. So this was a candle label that I created for just a dummy project. But as you can see here, just a funny saying on a candle label. We go ahead and we download that file, load it up onto Printify, and list it out on Etsy. And when it sells, it goes to Printify, and then Printify ships it directly to the customer. So that's Canva. Now, another tool I use is called Everbee. Now, Everbee is a tool used for niche research or keyword research, or there's a bunch of functions it can do. It also shows you what your competitors are doing numbers wise, and you can kind of analyze trends, what's selling now, what's not selling now. It's a great tool it's a Chrome extension basically is what it is. I'm sure most of you that are a little bit familiar with Etsy know about it, but Everbee basically analyzes the market and helps us make decisions on what we should design next. Hello Custom is a tool for automizing personalization. It's a very, very nice tool because you save a lot of time, essentially, right? So instead of having to update our own files with maybe a custom name, we can essentially let Hello Custom do it. So it's an AI-based software that actually takes your information from Etsy and automatically updates the file that you've given it, and it updates it for every single order that comes in. And basically all you have to do is press a button to approve, and it goes directly to Printify, and that's about it. So it's a huge time saver, but it's a great tool. And the other tool I used a lot was ChatGPT, which is obviously AI. ChatGPT can be used for so many things, and I'm going to make some ChatGPT videos showing you exactly how I utilize ChatGPT and how you can too to sell products on Etsy. And yeah, you can use it for ideas. You can actually, now it's changed, so you can actually make design files on ChatGPT itself. It's pretty cool. So just before we move on, if you guys are interested in knowing a little bit more about me and how you can apply to potentially work with me and get coached by me, I'll have a video linked in the description down below. Go ahead and check that out. No pressure, just go ahead and check it out. And if it looks like something you would want to do and you are interested in, you can go ahead and actually book a call with me there as well. Free, of course, and we can talk. Cool. So, mistakes I made. Well, designing without the target customer in mind. So, like, what are their habits? What speaks to them? These are key points to think about when you're actually making your designs, because if they don't speak to your target audience or your niche that you're targeting, then what's the point, right? It's not going to sell. It's not going to stop their scroll. And if it does stop their scroll, they're definitely not going to purchase it because it doesn't speak to them. And also choosing to sell products with low margins. Now, this is something I did in the beginning, and what it was essentially was candles, right? So one product I don't recommend now is candles because of the profit margins. Although you could sell a lot of candles, and candles are very, very popular on Etsy, they have low profit margins. So that means that we can't really utilize Etsy ads to actually sell the product. Another one would be not adding value to the listings. So this is key in today's day and age. The competition is increasing every year. So we want to be able to add value to our listings so that the customer actually takes our listing over another listing because we have more value, right? So ways we can add value are personalization. It could be different color options, whatever it is. But always have that in the back of your mind. Another one would be not utilizing personalization early on. So I didn't do this at first. As soon as I did, I saw that sales increased. I was actually making sales. So I would recommend basically to everyone to start utilizing personalization from day one. Again, it's going to help you stand out from the crowd, and it's going to increase your perceived product value. I focused on pumping out listings instead of quality. This is something I did in the beginning. And just to put it into context, I had over 1,000 active listings in the first 6 months. And a lot of those listings, it would have been more because I actually took down a bunch of listings as well. So focus on quality. That is the key thing, but also focus on putting out listings consistently. So a good goal for somebody in the beginning would be to maybe do one listing a day, but just focus on making it as good quality as possible. So if I had to start over, I would start by finding a product to sell that has healthy profit margins, right? So that ties into what I was talking about earlier with utilizing Etsy ads to actually make sales on the platform. And to utilize Etsy ads, we need to have high enough profit margins. I would order a sample to test the quality, shipping time, and packaging. Very, very key, so that you're not selling a product blindly. You want to test that product, see what the quality is like, the shipping time, and the packaging, because obviously we don't want to sell products that are crap, right? We don't want to sell products that are crap, get bad reviews, and ultimately kill our shop, right? Create designs utilizing personalization that cater to the target customer's emotions. So we've already touched on this a bit, but utilize that personalization and hyper focus on targeting that niche, whichever niche it is, you're targeting with that listing, that it really, really targets the customer's emotions. I would take my time creating mock-up templates for that product that are high quality and remove friction. So what I mean by remove friction is they answer the questions of your potential buyer. So if it's a candle, okay, what size is the candle? How large is the glass vessel? Is it reusable? What is the burning time? How long does it last? What are the different scent options? Is there a description of each scent option? So all of these things, you want to cater to your customer so that they remove friction, they get all the information they need, and ultimately make that purchase. Post one new listing every day with perfect SEO. So obviously there's no such thing as perfect, but we would do our best to basically optimize that listing as much as possible, highest quality listing as possible, awesome mockups, high quality title and tags, everything. Do everything correctly. That would be something I would do. Then I would turn on Etsy ads only for listings I feel are 100% optimized. If we turn Etsy ads on for listings that aren't optimized, then basically what Etsy ads will do is spend your money without making any sales, right? Because nobody wants to buy that product. So this is very, very, very key. And I would keep looking for ways to add value and optimize future listings. So as you can see, Etsy can be an amazing platform to make money online as a beginner, starting out as a side hustle and potentially even replacing your full-time income if done correctly. Again, if you want to see the exact strategy as to how I made $227,000 in my first year, click the video below and take a look. There I'll walk through basically what makes me different and the strategies that I take. And so go ahead and check that out. And with that being said, I will see you guys all in the next video.